Hi everybody, today I will show you how to use Microsoft Loop. So let's just begin. So first of all, let's just go to the Google, and from here we have to search for the Microsoft Loop. So what is Microsoft Loop? So the Microsoft Loop is actually the collaborative platform. Okay, so what it does, it actually helps the people to work together across the devices and the apps, and with the Loop you can actually organize and find all the tools and the files you need for your project in one place. Okay. So now let's click on the Microsoft Loop from here. Okay, so as you can see that I'm already logged in into my Microsoft account. So for the sign up, all you need to do is to have the Microsoft account. But if you don't have the Microsoft account, you can simply create one and you can simply log in into this. So let's click on the get started with the loop. Okay, so now let's click on the get started. And all I need to do is to sign up here with my Microsoft account. So let's click on the sign in option, and I would actually use my GitHub account. And I have signed in into my Microsoft Loop account successfully. So the first thing that you will see when you sign in into your Microsoft Loop account, you will see the workspaces. So as you can see that right now I only have a single workspace. So if I want to create the new workspace, I will simply click here, and you can see here if I click on these three dots, so from here, I can open this workspace. I can add this workspace as my favorite workspace, and I can also rename and change the style of this workspace from here. And I can also add the members here. And if I want to delete the workspace, I can simply do it from here. Okay, so now let's click on the rename and the style. And from here, you can see that we have the title, we have the icon, and we have this cover image. So I can simply customize these values from here. Okay, so let's click on the cancel. And I would actually like to create the new workspace. So in order to create the new workspace, okay, so we have to give the title to our workspace. So let's take the scenario that I want to create a space for my marketing team. I'm going to write down marketing team for the product. Okay, and what is the workspace? So the workspace is actually the shared space where you can collaborate with your team, and I can always rename it later if I want to. And from here, I can also add the emoji here, and you will be able to see the different emojis. So I'm going to write down the rocket, because with the help of my marketing team, I want to do the rocket sale of my project. And you can also update the cover here. So we have these different abstract covers. You can also use landscapes from here. So I think I will certainly go with this one. This looks fine. Just click on update and click on the create. So this would actually create the workspace for us. So right now we are in our new workspace, which is actually the marketing team. Okay, so this is actually the kind of dashboard of our Microsoft Loop. So let's have a look at this. What do we get here? So on the left side, we have the sidebar. So in the sidebar, we have the recent, we have the ideas, and we have our workspace. So I can simply switch the workspace from here if I want to. So we have the two workspaces right now. The first one is the marketing team that we are in right now, and the second one is actually the get started. So from here, you can actually switch the workspaces. And if you want to browse all the workspaces, you can simply do it from here, and you can also create the new workspace from here. So we also have this view structure. The tree is selected right now. And from here, you can also create a new page or the new link from here. Okay. Right now, we have this untitled page. Okay. So what can we do with the Microsoft Loop? So let's click on the template gallery, and you will have the idea that what can we do with the Microsoft Loop? How can we use this? So we can use it for the project brief. We can use it for the team decisions. You can see this. We have this team decision template. We have this project planning. We have this meeting notes, a bid, idea brainstorm, and the product wiki, action heroes, stand-up meeting, and issue tracker, and the problem framing. And you can also create your own thing. It really depends on how you want to use this. All right. So now I won't be using any templates here. All right. So let's write down the title to our page here. So it would be marketing plan. So I want to create the marketing plan for my product with the team. So in the writing, as you can see that we have the two options. The first one is the forward slash, and the second one is actually the add to find out the member of the team. Okay, so let me just write down the forward slash, and you can see that I can actually create the heading, and we can create the table checklist, bulleted list, number list, and the divider. And we also have the task list, voting table, and the progress tracker. And in the communication, we have the person, we have the emoji picker, and date, label, and the images. And you can also add the apps just like the Jira. All right, so right now I just like to add the H2 here. So I'm gonna write down the question here. What kind of ideas we have for our product? Okay, so we have this question, and in the similar way, I can simply add the bulleted list or the number list. So I can add the items here. So let's just say the idea 1, then idea 2, and idea 3, and etc. So let's write down the forward slash again. And from here, I would simply like to use a voting table. Okay, so the voting table is not the ordinary table. With the help of this table, the member of your team can actually vote on the ideas here. So let's just say we have the idea 1 here. I'm just taking the example here, and we have the idea 2 here. We have the pros of the idea and the cons of the idea, and we have the votes here. Okay, so right now we haven't shared our workspace with our team, but when we do share our workspace with the team, they can actually do the voting on the different ideas here. Okay, and that will be happening in the real time. I will show you the example. You don't have to worry. Okay, so we have this voting table. So in the voting table, if you want to change the name of the table here, you can simply double click here, and from here you can change the name of the column here. So in the similar way, we can also do with this pros and the cons and the votes. And you can also change the order of the columns. So let's just say I want to change the order of the pros. So let's click on this road and drag the pros and put it after the con. Okay, so I have to put this before the votes, and you will be able to see. So this is how we can change the order of our columns here. And I can also sort my column here. So I can sort it by ascending order, and I can sort it by descending order. You can see here. Okay, so now let's just add the new column here, and the column would be the price. Okay, so the type of the column, it should be actually the number. I'm just assuming it that we have the price for our ideas. So the first one is actually the $10, and second one is actually the $20. So if I want to change the order of my column, I can simply do it from here. So I can also rename this, and I can also change the column type. As you can see here, we have this text number, date, person, voting, and the labels. And we also have the insert. So I can also insert the column to the left or the right, and we have the row below. Okay, so we also have this ascending and the descending order. So let's sort our column by the descending order now, and you will be able to see that our column is sorted by the descending order. Okay, so this is how we can create the voting table, and this is how we can use the voting table. And we also have the hide column options. So if you want to hide the columns here, so let's say I want to hide the cons and the pros. So you will be only able to see the price, votes, and the idea. And if I want to expand the table, I can simply do it from here. Okay, so this is how you can see here. And if I want to add the new row here, I can simply click on the new, and you will be able to see the new sale here. Okay, so let's delete this. So this is how the voting table works, and this is how we can use this. Okay, so if I want to mention the member of the team here, so I'll simply write down the add, and you will be able to see the people here. So right now we don't have any person added in my team. So you can simply find the people, files, and the meeting in this way. All right. Okay, so let's just take the example now. I have created my marketing plan, and I want to share this with my marketing team for the review. And I also want that my marketing team should add some points here. Okay, so how can I share this? So if I want to share this project or the file, I'll just simply click share into the share. And from here, you can see that we have the page link and we have the loop component. Okay, so I can also add the people by giving the page link, and I can also use the loop component to give access to my marketing plan. Okay, so right now we'll simply use the loop component. Okay, so you have to remember that what is the loop component? Loop component is basically the embedded, and it is actually the embed and provide the access to this page in the supported Microsoft 365 apps. You have to remember that. Okay, so right now I just want to create the loop component of this file. So now what I can do here, I just simply click here and click on the share loop component, and anyone with this link can edit my marketing plan. So let's take the example. I want to share this with my partner in my marketing team. So I will just simply copy and send the link to him, and he can access the link directly in the browser. So let's take the example. I'm using this Google Chrome here, and I have logged in into the Microsoft Loop, but into the different account. So both of these accounts are actually the different accounts here. Okay, so let me just split the view here, and you will be able to see we have the two Microsoft Loop accounts, and both of these accounts are actually the different accounts. All right, so let's just remove this, and I'll just simply paste the link that I have copied from here. So let's hit the enter. Okay, so now you can see that I simply accessed the marketing plane of this account or this member to this another member. So you can also see that we have the two users right now. Okay, so I can actually edit the marketing plan from here. So let's just take the example that my member want to add a new idea here. So he can write down the idea number 4 by second member, and he want to add some name idea as well. Okay, so this is actually the name idea, and as you can see this, we have these live changes. So whatever I add from my this account, it will be added on this marketing plan to my workspace. Okay, so this is actually the main idea of the Microsoft Loop, to work on the different projects from a single place. Okay, so let's just remove this, and if I want to add a new column here, I can simply do it from here. So click on the new, and let's just write down idea number 3. And I also want to add a new column here. So let's click on the plus icon. This would be the owner, and you can see the changes on my original account here. Okay, so the third idea was basically from my second user. So I want to mention the people here. Okay, so right now we don't have any person. Okay, so we have this. So you can see this, we added the owner of our idea here. Okay, so the main thing is to add the vote. So if I add the vote here, you will be able to see the change in the vote here. Let's just add the vote here. So you can see the change here simultaneously. Okay, so this is how we can use the Microsoft Loop. Okay, so it is not necessary that the loop component can only be accessed inside the Microsoft Loop. You can also use the loop component on the Outlook, and we can also use it with the Microsoft Teams, and you can also use it on every app of the Microsoft app 365. Okay, so that is actually the idea of the loop component. Okay, so now let's go back to our main workspace, and you can see this, we have the two members, and all these changes are done by this second member. All right, so you can see this, these changes were done by our second member. So this is how we can collaborate on the single project. Okay, so now you are worried about one thing, that what if some user created the mess on our project? So how can we resolve that? Okay, so here's the solution for this. So let's click on these three dots, and from here we have this version control. Okay, so now you can see this, we have these different versions here. So if you want to go back to the different version of your project, you can simply go back from here. So let's click on the last version, and I want to restore to it. Let's click on the confirm, and you will be able to see this, that our idea 3 is actually gone from our voting table. Okay, so this is how you can go back to your previous version of your project. Okay, so this is it for our Microsoft Loop, and this is how you can use the Microsoft Loop to collaborate on the different projects from the single place. And if you really find this video useful, hit the like button and subscribe the channel.